Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Boruto Manga chapter review. This one's going to be for chapter 20, which is called Ninja Technology. And overall, I thought this was a really good chapter. I think we've been waiting for this kind of action scene for a couple of chapters now, and that we kind of really needed to get this action. And I think it ended up serving, I think, a bit more than just having an action scene in the series. It really, to me, helped bring up the stakes of what's going on here, in that this was the chapter for me where it kind of sold me on what this arc is maybe going for here. Where, like, okay, big focus on ninja technology, but also here's Katasuke kind of dealing with the fact that, you know, the other kind of, the enemy basically have technology because of what happened when he was under Genjutsu. You see him really trying to kind of redeem himself for that. That's why I suppose he's putting himself out there so much on this mission. We see characters dying because they're aware of, I suppose, the stakes that are at play here. We have a villain who we know is skilled and now has a lot of mystery around him because we don't know how many gadgets of ninja technology he has within his kind of like new body, and it just felt like, yes, we're really building towards something here. I agree to some degree with this sentiment, that I hope the entire series of Boruto isn't just forever going to be focused on ninja technology for like the entire run. I get it's going to be a bigger factor. Kind of like going from Avatar: The Last Airbender into Legend of Korra, where technology is a factor, but it doesn't overtake the entire show. I hope that happens here, and this just happens to be an arc where we're specifically focusing on ninja technology. In that, I assume we may end up with a point where, like, okay, we've leveled out the ninja technology. It's going to be here, but not in as big of a factor as it kind of seems to be right now, where that's the only thing really going on. In that, I don't know how strongly I'd feel if, like, if the villains of, like, the series for now are just ninja who primarily use ninja technology, and then it's basically just becomes a technology fight. I still want to see ninja fights, but maybe augmented with a bit of ninja technology, because while the action in this chapter I thought was quite good, it was very much just like Rasengans and then absorbing attacks and then, like, I think one earth style jutsu. So that's probably the weakness of introducing a piece of technology that just seemingly absorbs anything and doesn't have too much of a kind of downside to it. But now Ao has that, and that makes him an even bigger threat, and that he can now block more than he could before. But still, Konohamaru was shown to be very skilled. Ao was surprised by the use of the kind of absorbing ninja technology, which meant that his chain gun got destroyed. And it seemed like they had the advantage at this point, but it's Ao kind of turning the tables by, like, just having seemingly like two guns or something in his shoulder that he can just fire out to take people by surprise, and he kind of burns Konohamaru's face and then takes the absorbing ninja tech from Katasuki, and and almost out of nowhere the kind of hero of the chapter ends up being Mugino, who we thought is like, oh, he's on the verge of death here, but they surprisingly give him this really heroic moment where he just gets up, grabs Aoi, and gets really horribly injured with the kind of weapon that Ao fires through him. But he still is standing and uses the Earth-style jutsu to collapse the cave, which they all are aware of the kind of monumentous sacrifice that this is. And it's another case of, like, Boruto and Team 7, I suppose, seeing something like this, someone sacrificing themselves for their teammates, happening right in front of them, and them needing to just get away from this because they have the intel that they want to get back to the village, and Ao is kind of set on hunting them down because they know more than he thinks they should know. So the setup here of this kind of like chase sequence of, like, he has the kind of surprise advantage and they're just trying to get the intel back, it's quite well done, and they're also, I like that they brought up stuff like Boruto talking to Ao on the train, and in a way, like him being the one to convince Boruto that ninja tech is a good thing, and now he fully believes in it and is supporting Katsuki and like, no, it's good to make ninja tech. I now see the benefit of and the smiles that ninja tech can put on people's faces. It's him who convinced me initially that ninja tech is a good thing. He's the one misusing it, and I like that kind of intensity from Boruto about this topic, and I'm very interested to see where they go with Aoi, in that will they try to in any way redeem him, or will it just be that he gets taken out, realizing the error of his ways in the end, and we just progress from there. But yeah, just a quick action chapter. It went by very quickly because it was primarily focused on the action. But I don't mind it too much because we haven't really had a lot of action recently, so I'm actually okay with the chapter feeling fairly short, because I felt like this was the type of chapter that was really, really, really needed. I think the benefit going forward now is that, okay, our team is going to use ninja technology to counter Aoi, in that obviously the setup of what they tested before, and they seem to have some of that with them. So Boruto with the lightsaber, and then he also has one of the other absorbing gloves. So I think, to me, that convinced me that, okay, this is going to be more of like a gimmick fight where they're emphasizing the good use of technology here, but I don't think Boruto is going to regularly use a lot of this stuff with him. But at the same time, maybe I can see it going forward if he incorporates like a specific special ninja tool into his arsenal or something like that, where it's not just a character has learned a new jutsu, it's they've learned the kind of mastery of a specific new ninja tool. I think that would be actually a very cool thing to do for the characters, in that it'd be cool actually if Boruto, just the one piece of ninja tech he always carried around with him was like one of those lightsaber things. Just to have a really special kind of high power melee weapon for up close. I can see the benefit of that in that, like, say, Mitsuki gets this thing, Sarada has like the special flashbang grenade thing. That would actually, I think, add a little bit of an extra layer to the fights, in that outside of like 1010, we haven't really seen many like ninja tool specialists. So adding in this extra technology into that, I think there's definitely I think a benefit there in some action scenes for having an emphasis on ninja technology, but I think not at the expense of jutsu and the usual kind of martial arts action that we all like in Naruto. So yeah, that's the review for chapter 20. As I said, quick chapter because it was just action, but I think one of the better chapters we've got recently. It really sold me on this arc now, and now I think it's all about how they resolve Aoi, what the information is, if they get the intel back to the village, and I think developing Kara a bit more going forward. But I'm definitely a bit more excited about things where they're going now, after I think the last couple of chapters slightly disappointed me by not kind of covering enough ground. But yeah, that's been the video for the review for chapter 20 of Boruto. You'll also see sometime later on today my review for the new episode of the Boruto anime. I just forgot that the manga chapter was out today, so I have to put 2 videos out today. So yeah, that's been the video. In the comments, let me know what your thoughts are on the chapter. But yeah, that's been the video for today. Thanks for watching, and bye.